Hello everyone. My name is Manveer Singhal and today I'm presenting my presentation and which is for my business law class. And today I will discussing a real Canadian legal case which deal with the negligence and the duty of care. This case This case I choose is called Paradivestic Root, and it helps us to understand when someone, especially when public official, can be held a legal responsibility for emotional harm. And now we will talk about the introduction to legal case and topic. As I'm originally from Punjab, India, and I came to Canada to continue my further studies map for better career. For this assignment, I choose a topic in negligence duty of care, which we studied in a chapter 6 of our subject in the textbook named Managing the Law. This case of Paradise Route is interesting because it questions whether police and medical examiners can be held responsible for their action during an investment causes emotional harm to someone. And this is an important legal concept for student. This is an important concept for students like us in business and management because it helps us to understand the limits of responsibility in both public surveys and the business settings. And now in third slide, and third, we will understand the legal principle of negligence. And negligence means that someone was careless, and because of that, another person get hurt. And to prove negligence in court, we must show four things. That the name of that are duty of care, the breach of the duty, causation, and the damage. And damage. And in first slide, why I choose this case. I choose this case because it looks at a very sensitive issues, whether the public officials and the legal duties or to the family members who suffer emotional harm during an investigation. It's important because it shows how court decide who is responsible when harm happens, especially in tough situations like sudden death. Also, this case show that not all emotional pain leads to a successful suit. That's an important lesson for everyone working in a public service or a business. And the next slide. This is about case background. What happened in the in March 2015? Mr. Paradis was found dead in the garage of his home. The police and the medical examiner said he died from carbon monoxide poisoning and called it a suicide. And but his wife, Mrs. Paradis, didn't agree. She said that investigation was not done properly and important people weren't interviewed. She also claimed the police shared wrong information, like saying both vehicles were running when they were in a garage. Later, the auto spare part was changed from suicide to under undermined, but by that time the emotional damage to Mr. Mrs. Paradis was already being done. And so that's why she said that the investigation is not going correct. And in the next slide, the legal test, the duty of care. The court used a test called the MS Copper test to decide the police and the examiner on the duty of care, Mrs. Paradivis. In this, there are three steps. Step one was the harm foreseeable. Yes, it was a possible someone would be emotionally hurt. Step two was there was a close relationship. No, there wasn't a legal private relationship between them. And step three, there were a policy reason to deny the duty. Yes. If the court allowed the public, so that the court decided the duty of care was public, not individual family member was emotionally harmed. And so that's why the she was worried and all were emotionally hurt. And in slide 7, the court decision, we will discuss about the court decision. As in court decision, the Alberta court decided that the police and the medical examiner did not own a duty of care to Mrs. Paradis. So they said that the Fatality Inquiries Act is meant to protect the public, not individual also. The court said that if the official were acting in a good faith, they shouldn't be personally responsible to emotional harm. And because of this, the case was dismissed and didn't go to the full trial. And in the eighth slide, the lesson of business, and we will discuss about lessons of business and safety. This case teaches us that not every harm result in legal responsibility in business, and we do have a duty of care, and we do have a duty of care customer and employees, especially in high risk job like construction. If we ignore safety rule and someone gets hurt, we can be legally responsible. But in the public sector, like the police, the duty is society, not to the individual. Still, in both business and the public job, we must focus on clear communication, proper documentation, and preventing risk to avoid the legal issues, as these are always bad for everybody. And we should remain, we should be always should communicate with everybody in good way so that everyone should become happy by talking with us. And so that's why we should not emotionally hurt anybody. And this last slide, here are the references I use for this project. And our textbook, the first is our textbook, Managing the Law by the Mechanisms. And the chapter, the core, these are the references, and these are the materials which I used to make my presentation. And thank you everybody for listening, and have a good day. And I should say that everybody should uh, live happily and do not emotionally hurt anybody. Goodbye. Thank you.